Hello, welcome to this Forex forecast. Going to kick off with EURUSD. This is the daily chart. It looks like Macron would be re-elected, so I'm expecting a bit of a relief rally on this instrument, but my bias remains bearish. I am bullish on the dollar against a lot of instruments. This may not be the best instrument to be trading this week, but if we do see a relief rally back into some resistance, we have support over here and then resistance and resistance. If we can get relief into there, I'll be looking to fade that move back down to this area of support. Ideally, if we get a move, daily close and retest of this level, previous weekly low, and then I'll be looking to sell. But overall, we'll just have to wait and see what price gives us and then look to step into the market. But overall bias is bullish on the dollar, which is meaning I'm bearish on euro against the dollar, obviously. But I think there'll be better instruments to trade. Pound will be on the top of my list. You can see that we have some heavy momentum to the downside here, and I'll be looking to try and get involved with that. If we can get a pullback straight into this support, should turn to resistance, and then I'll be looking to sell that. I'll put the levels on the screen and you can take note and put in alerts and use this as a sort of guide to your own trading. But these are the levels that I'll be looking to trade. We'll just have to see what price does, but at the moment I'm heavily biased to the downside in this instrument, and in a perfect world this area of support would be ideal, but as you know, trading doesn't work that way. But that is a key level that I'll have on my chart. Kiwi is another instrument I like to the downside. We have some support here, some support here, and support here. If we can get a pullback into that level, 0.67 area, then I'll be looking for selling opportunities. You can see that we have this huge momentum to the downside. We've only had one pullback, two pullbacks, so it is quite heavy, and my bias remains bearish on this. So just looking to get involved with any pullbacks on this instrument. And it's the same with Aussie. If you remember from previous videos, I have been bullish to the dollar for quite some time. We've got this breakout now on Aussie as well. We have support over here, we have this break. If we can pull back into some previous support turn to resistance, that would be ideal. I do have some levels on the lower time frames that I'll put on the chart now. It's just, if we go down into the hourly and zoom in, it's just once you see these levels of where we get consolidation, we have a consolidation before an explosive move. If we get a pullback into that area, that is where you want to be looking to trade. We have a consolidation before an explosive move, so that is an area that I'll keep on my chart. And what I do is just set alerts at these levels and then see what price action is doing around there. So make sure to just set alerts, and it's easier than, you know, you might miss the moves in your, or you're looking at too many instruments that you forget what you're supposed to be keeping an eye on. So if you just set an alert, then it's an easier way of trading. And let's take a look at dollar yen. Bias is obviously still bullish, looking at that 130 area as a target, but you know, the pullbacks on this, we haven't really had too much. One day last week, and we've got interest rate decision as well out of Japan. I don't know if they're going to do much, but I would be careful on yen pairs, because if we do get a pullback, it's going to be quite heavy and quite sharp. But if you're day trading this, the bias should remain bullish until further notice. There's no point in trying to call a top in this, so just going with the flow. And yeah, I think the money is to be made to the upside, but I would be cautious, to be fair, and I'm not looking at any other yen pairs because of that. I'm just looking at dollar pairs. Let's take a look at dollar Swiss daily chart. Bullish this instrument. We have some resistance over here. If we could get a pullback into there, that would be ideal, but I don't even think we get that. We have, let me just zoom in. You can see this area. This will be a support and resistance in the lower time frame. So resistance here, and support here. Let's go down into the 4 hour and you will see it a little clearer. So this area, resistance turns support. If you can get a pullback into there, then that's an area where you should look for a structure break and then look for a trading opportunity to the upside. Where will you target? Just target the next high. You can see a pullback here, you can get involved, target the next high, and that's just how I would trend trade that. Dollar CAD I'm going to give a miss because I can't really get a good read on it. We've got two strong currencies against each other, to be honest, and the price action just doesn't look appealing to me. So there's plenty of opportunities out there, so you don't have to waste your time on instruments that aren't really too appealing. Let's take a look at, I'm going to take a look at Pound CAD and EURCAD, and maybe New Zealand CAD. So let's take a look at EURCAD first. Let's go out to the daily chart. We can see that this has been on quite the bearish run. I'll just clear this off. Just to look at structure, move quite the bearish run, and we're coming into some previous resistance here, and I'll be looking for a breakdown from that area. Whether we come up, sweep those highs and get back below, this is definitely an area where I'll be looking for some selling opportunities, depending on how Euro reacts to those elections. If we go higher, maybe even up into here, so this previous support turned to resistance here. My bias is bearish in this, but be looking to fade any positive news out of this as well. Let's look at Pound CAD. Bearish, very bearish. Let's take a few levels. We can see that most for bearishness, we can see what's holding up this market. We have support here and support here, a daily close retest, and then this is where you go down into the lower time frames and look for some selling opportunities on Pound CAD. Remember last week going over this, if you look at last week's video, we were following structure on this, so but price action was quite messy, and we did get that move to the downside. Sharp move up, and now it's just been slammed straight back down again, so we'll be looking to sell that as well. Let's take a look at New Zealand CAD, because that is a instrument we sold last week in the group. Any pullbacks on this into previous, all you have to do is look at previous support and resistance. We see support here. If we get a pullback into there, resistance, and then look to trade that down, that is another instrument that is high up on my watch list. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time here on a Sunday. I will update you after Monday's range has finished unfolding, but that's my bias on most of the instruments and what I'm looking to trade. So I'm wishing you a profitable week, and I'll update you on Monday.